I've been watching up the road around places like Nashville that may track southward later on tonight. But there's Cedar Bluff, here's Center, and that's right on the state line. So folks out here around Weiss Lake, just stay weather alert for that threat of lightning because there is some intense lightning with that storm that's moving to the south. But again, that is far east Alabama, but a lot more of this to the north. Now, this will stay on the outer edge of the heat dome. I don't think this is going to drop due south tonight, but some of these northeastern areas heading into this evening, there will be a chance for spotty showers and storms. But the big story, the highs in not just the 90s, mid-upper 90s possible in some locations tomorrow. Heat index topping 105. Plan for that again on Tuesday. But those scattered storms after 2 o'clock tomorrow, got to watch out starting in far east Alabama. But it looks like some of those storms may try to develop a little bit closer to I-65 tomorrow afternoon. So there will be a better chance areas further west, and then even better chance once we get to Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Also tracking a disturbance like last week that's going to move across the northern Gulf, may become better organized. That's another system we'll show you where it's going and updates on the tropics. That's all coming up. But your First Alert meteorologist Megan Thomas looking tonight at how we could be setting records this July for heat, and she takes us back to a very hot day in 1952.
Now, we've had a First Alert weather day all day. We're going to continue it into tomorrow due to the dangerous heat that's been in place. Temperatures today felt upwards of 105, 106, 107 degrees, but the actual air temperature hovered mainly in the mid-90s. Now, the records for today are pretty impressive. 1952 seems to be a pretty important year for today. Birmingham saw 101 in 1952, Tuscaloosa 104, and Anniston got to 101 in 1952 as well. Tomorrow, we're going to do it all over again. We are going to be hot, we are going to be humid, we're going to be under a First Alert weather day. But look at the record highs for July 22nd. Now, I don't think we touched these numbers, but it is going to feel hotter than these numbers. Back in 93, Birmingham got to 100 degrees. Tuscaloosa saw 102, and Anniston hovered right around 99 in 1993. Now, what are the hottest days in July in the record book? So I went and looked. Weather extremes in July. Birmingham saw 107 degrees July 29th in 1930. Tuscaloosa in the year of 1952. We just told you how important that was for today, but look. In the 24th, the 28th, and the 29th in 1952 in July, Tuscaloosa got to 107. Anniston saw 105 back in July 13th, 1980. Now remember, again, the actual air temperature not expected to get this high between Tuesday and even Wednesday, but it's still going to feel dangerously hot with that humidity in place.
Thanks, Megan. A WBRC safety check tonight from the Alabama Department of Health on the warning signs for heat illnesses during these dangerously hot days. Doctors say heat-related illnesses occur when the body is exposed to high temperatures. And get this, the most common heat illnesses being heat cramps, heat exhaustion, and heat stroke. In fact, heat stroke is a medical emergency, and even with immediate treatment, it can be life-threatening or cause serious long-term problems. Doctors say to be sure to drink plenty of fluids, except alcohol or caffeinated beverages to prevent dehydration. Stay in an air-conditioned room, seek shade, wear a wide-brimmed hat, light-colored and loose-fitting clothing, use sunscreen or SPF 15 or higher, and reduce or eliminate strenuous activities during the hottest times of the day. And never leave people or pets in a parked vehicle. From our dry heat to a rare typhoon in Hong Kong breaking tonight. We're just getting new video of the storm that can put the city on lockdown and canceled hundreds of flights Sunday. The typhoon slamming skyscrapers with winds up to 78 miles per hour and gusts reaching 103 miles per hour. Neighbors were put on high alert and warned to stay inside, away from exposed windows that could shatter easily if hit by flying objects. And new tonight on First Alert Weather Extra, a look at some of the wicked weather across the United States. Look at this, folks trying to dry out tonight following intense flooding. Millions of people were under the threat of strong storms on Sunday. Several people had to be rescued from their cars in the D.C. area and many of the same areas that are already recovering from heavy rainfall from earlier this month. This is wild video, flash flooding from parts of the New York City area last week. Rushing water spilling into subway cars, water spewing up from the ground at one subway station. And new tonight, First Alert Weather Extra Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt looks at what's on the horizon in the U.S. when it comes to forecasting severe weather.
Yeah, Tania, new tonight on Extra, Democratic Senator Maria Cantwell says that she wants the U.S. to become a leader in weather forecasting. In a letter to President Trump, Cantwell highlights 5 recommendations that she says could bolster the country's weather forecasting infrastructure and says it should be a bipartisan effort.
But we have to upgrade our radar, our satellites, our buoy system, and make sure that we take that information in, analyze it, create the models. But their results already are showing you can give people hours and hours and hours of advance notice of this potential hazard instead of a few minutes.
And new tonight on First Alert Weather Extra, NOAA's Global Systems Laboratory is now using the first data-driven AI-powered regional forecast system. The HRRR, you hear us talk about the high-resolution rapid refresh model, is a collaborative effort. The HRR CAS, NOAA scientists saying that these AI technologies, of course, can enhance forecasting capabilities as they learn, as they grow and forecast events. And the early results are very promising. We've been seeing a lot of forecasting scenarios with the European AI model, which is a forecast model I use quite a bit with long-range forecast, and very impressive technology. But that's the direction we're seeing a lot of the numerical forecast guidance going in years to come. Well, we're going to be talking about what the models have to say about a tropical disturbance over the northern Gulf. What will this mean for our weather this week? We'll show you after the break. All right, watching the Gulf once again. Very interesting. It's almost like the setup last week. We got another disturbance that's going to be rounding the base of this upper level ridge and moving across the eastern U.S. here. Let me just show you. It's going to be tracking from north to south, and then it's going to be moving along the Gulf Coast. Let me animate there, and you can see it's going to interact with land, so that may limit the development. Although this one particular model, this is the Barron model, and it shows this may try to become a bit better organized here by Thursday. A lot of rain, some big impacts there along the coast as far as those higher rain chances over the next couple days. I wouldn't cancel my beach trip plans. I mean, I'm not seeing a major hurricane here, but just know that there could be more scattered storms like last week. Of course, dangerous rip current risk, and also South Alabama especially, we'll see an enhanced risk for showers and storms over the next couple days. And there's another wave. It's about 800 miles east-southeast of the Lesser Antilles. This time of year, especially as you move into the month of August, we're getting into the Cape Verde season. We'll have to watch these easterly waves as they traverse the Atlantic. But this disturbance that was popped up over the weekend, Hurricane Center is watching it. Now a lower chance for development, and actually it's moving into an environment less favorable. The environmental conditions not quite optimal there for tropical development. So I'm not too concerned about that system. Again, if you have maybe a Caribbean vacation plan, I think you'll be in fine shape there. But along the Alabama Gulf Coast, Florida Gulf Coast, those rain chances Wednesday and Thursday, there will be quite a few scattered storms going through the mid portion of the week. And of course, we're watching around here if we'll see any wet weather. But we check in now with your meteorologist, Tania Michelle, again, who's on your side with a nutritious treat to keep you cool this week.
Hey, I don't know what you guys want to have for dinner or maybe a snack in this hot weather, but we have some ideas. On First Alert Weather Extra, we're talking about the dangerous heat, the first alert weather days that we have in effect, right? Well, what are some healthy ways to keep cool while adding vitamins and minerals to your diet? A UAB dietitian tells us frozen fruit is the way to go. Nutritious way to stay cool, but also healthy. You get the best of both worlds. In fact, they say there's nothing that makes frozen fruit less healthy than fresh fruit. Frozen fruit is packed with beneficial vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. Nutritionists say fresh fruits can be frozen at home to help preserve the vital nutrients. But here's the catch. Items we freeze ourselves do not maintain quality for quite as long as commercially frozen items. You'll want to eat those within the year because some quality may be lost after this point. And new tonight on Extra, we're on your side with what you need to remember when you're walking your dog this week. Matt Daniel looking at how the heat can be dangerous for you and your fur friends.
And welcome back into First Alert Weather Extra. It is a First Alert weather day, and if you stepped outside, you know why. It is hot, it is sticky, and we've got triple-digit feels-like temperatures. Not a lot of rain on the map right now. I'm watching East Alabama for a chance of pop-up storms, but notice right here over Shelby County, little tiny cell, it's popped up, and there is a lightning strike with this. So around between Harpersville and Childersburg, out here crossing around the island there on the Coosa River, First Alert that is tracking towards the south and southeast direction. So some of us out there winning out on the pop-up storms. That's about the only way we're cooling off with this hot weather. It's going to stay very steamy for this evening, but wet weather is a bit more organized further east you go. And I'm watching into Tennessee some storms that might try to skirt the far northeast part of the area this evening. So just watching those locations. Not seeing a lot for us here in West Alabama. It's mostly East Alabama with that greatest chance, far East Alabama. But the heat and humidity, greatest impact tomorrow. Yes, there will be a possibility of some storms, but actually most of that, I should say evening storms, because a lot of this really isn't going to really start to fire up tomorrow until around 3 or 4 o'clock. There's some indications we might see more development back in towards Birmingham. A low risk for severe storms, certainly not a organized severe risk, but we got to watch for some of those stronger storms with this heat building. But tonight by 10 o'clock, you see the overall picture, dry, hot weather. Look at Tuscaloosa, 83 at 10 o'clock tonight, 81 Birmingham, Alabaster here in Shelby County, East Alabama in the 70s, and that's about as cool as it's going to get tonight. Mid 70s, upper 70s out there. Dew points are in the 70s. It is going to be very warm, very humid early in the day tomorrow. We break into sunshine. We heat up quickly. We'll have a breeze out of the northwest direction. Notice as we take it on into tomorrow afternoon, we'll see those rain chances coming back later in the day. There's lunchtime, and then 3 o'clock, you can see those pop-up showers and storms. And again, it looks like by 8 o'clock, we'll see maybe even into the evening some development back in towards Alabaster and Birmingham. So again, afternoon storm chances going up a little better, a little improved tomorrow, but much better as we go to Wednesday and Thursday. And we got the heat. And listen, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's still going to be hot for the weekend. We're just seeing those heat levels not quite to the extreme that we're seeing right now. But next couple of days, there's a good chance a heat index could top 105, but you can see the heat index levels do improve slightly for this weekend. Not by much, but certainly we're not seeing 107 there as we go to Friday and Saturday. And really the only relief, those afternoon storm chances, as you can see in the Saturday and Sunday. We'll have to watch out for those this weekend. You have a birthday party planned, maybe planning a big lake day outdoor event on Saturday. Just know it's mostly the afternoon storms, not an all-day washout. Now, South Alabama could see some heavier rain around the middle of the week from that tropical disturbance. But again, it looks mostly scattered around here locally. And look at next week. The heat cranks up again. We got to watch next week. Could go even higher there on those temperatures with some mid-90s possible. So next on Weather Extra right now, we're going to check in with meteorologist Matt Daniel looking at how this dangerous heat and humidity can impact your health. And it doesn't just affect us. Matt is on your side with what you need to remember when walking your dog.
Well, we got First Alert weather days because of the heat and humidity. It's all about the humidity. When you have low humidity and it's hot outside, your body naturally sweats. It evaporates from your skin, and that's a cooling effect. We sweat to stay cool. But when you have a lot of moisture, the humidity limits your sweat from evaporating pretty much, which makes you feel even more uncomfortable. Then your body overheats, and then you've got heat-related illnesses. So when you have the humidity and the heat, sweat cools less, your heart starts pumping faster, your kidneys start to work harder, and sometimes we get those heat-related illnesses. So we want to prevent that from even happening. So honestly, if you know you have to work outside on a day that's going to be really hot, the day beforehand, start drinking lots of water. You want your body to be completely hydrated before you have to go into those elements. If you're already dehydrated and you start feeling bad, it's too late, right? Make sure you just limit your time outdoors, and don't forget to take a lot of breaks, and don't forget to wear light colored clothing. The darker the clothing it is, the more sunshine is going to absorb, and you're going to have some issues, so be mindful of that. Also, we got to remember our pets as well. If you're walking them out in this heat, you might want to do it in the morning hours and later on in the evening when it's cooler. If the air temperature is 95, if you're walking your dog in the grass is about 90 degrees. If it's sunshine hitting the grass, it's about 105. But if they're walking on the concrete, on the asphalt, on any surfaces like that, that's how hot it can get, up to 140 degrees. And their paws can burn in 5 minutes at 120. And if it's at 140, the dog's paws could actually start burning within 1 minute. So make sure they're just on the grassy surfaces. So just a reminder, a good idea to walk them on the grass. If you really concerned and want to make sure, just go to the ground, touch it. And if it feels hot to you, it's going to be hot to them. But hopefully on this day it wasn't that hot, but make sure you avoid doing that. Just walk them in those grassy surfaces earlier in the day or late in the evening. Stay safe in this dangerous heat.
Yes, keep those fur friends nice and safe. But let's talk about that beyond the 7-day forecast. Any chance for some heat relief in the days ahead as we close out the month of July? Let's talk about it. Starting off with our temperature outlook as we look across the nation. I hate to say it, not much in the way of heat relief. More above average temperatures expected for much of the United States, including us right here across central Alabama. More heat on the way. This is our outlooks from July 27th through the 31st. As we look at the nation for precipitation, much of the northern half and the northeast of the nation dealing with above average rainfall. We're going to be more near average here across central Alabama. More of that above average rainfall further to our west and south across the coast. But for us here at home, we'll be right around where we typically are this time of the year. As far as rain chances over the next several days, closing out the month of July, it looks like every single day there is still a chance for some kind of wet weather. So I will not recommend putting up the rain jacket or the umbrella anytime soon. Keep it on hand. Keep it in your car, keep it near the door so you can grab it before heading out. As we bring in July the 28th, looks like a few showers could be possible around our area. Continuing into the 29th, looks like some wet weather more likely for West Alabama at that point. We bring in the 30th, more scattered. Looks like much of the rain will stay further south of us. Not a washout though. We bring in the 31st, and it looks like more of that wet weather sets up across the southern portion of our state and along the coast. So if you have some beach trips planned, be sure to check in for the forecast down there along the coast before you make that trip. Well, that's it for our Beyond the 7-Day forecast. Keep in mind things will and possibly will change over the next several days as our forecast is ever evolving. But we're on your side with a WBRC safety check now about the importance of staying hydrated, because you have to in this heat. A UAB dietitian says electrolytes are keys for physical activity. They cushion our joints during exercise and help improve endurance and even performance. Doctors say water is always the best option, though, for effective hydration. Experts at UAB say ways to replenish electrolytes include eating foods high in potassium, sodium, magnesium, chloride, and calcium. We'll be right back, though, with a final check on your forecast. You're watching First Alert Weather Extra.
Tonight on Extra, we love sharing your photos from the WBRC First Alert Weather app. We start with this beautiful rainbow in Inverness. Cindy Varney sharing this one.
And Wes, check out this one. Sandra Martin sharing this picturesque view of clouds over Aniana. Martin uploaded this one yesterday.
Yeah, lovely cumulonimbus those afternoon pulse thunderstorms, and check out all the colors in this photo from Smith Lake. Thank you, Alicia Graham, for capturing and sharing this lovely sunset view.
And another rainbow from rainbow friend, viewer Craig Strickland. This is from a parking lot in Guin. Thanks again for sharing these photos with us. You can upload your photos anytime and videos too on the WBRC News app. And we thank you so much for helping those in need recover from the devastation in Texas. So far, our parent company Gray Media and Salvation Army have raised more than $1 million in our Together for Texas campaign. If you'd like to donate, scan the QR code that you see right there with your phone on the screen.
Well, Tania, we called a First Alert Weather Day for today, and it is now official. The numbers are in. Birmingham reached 96, the hottest day of the year so far.
Of the year.
Yeah, well, hopefully it doesn't go any higher than this.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Hopefully not any
Yeah.
higher, but
Yeah.
I don't want to. I'm not going to say anything. You know, it's probably going to get hotter though.
Well, next couple of days, got to watch it out there. It's the heat index, so that's a big
It's the
thing.
heat index.
Yeah, and that's why through Wednesday we've called First Alert Weather Days, but Thursday, Friday, it looks like hopefully by the end of the week everybody gets a little bit of rainfall, but it's still
Yes.
kind of scattered every day. I'd still plan on watering.
Yeah, I was just about to say, listen, if you need to water your grass, keep it
Yeah.
alive, keep it green, turn on those sprinklers.
Yeah, certainly need to do that, plan for that. And it's getting a little crispy out there. I mean, it doesn't take long with this kind of heat. So, yeah, you take it easy out there. Don't overdo it. I know it's hot. We're going to be tracking these hotter conditions for you tonight. Coming up, we'll see you first at 9.